What's up, everybody? Beveraggi here, and we are continuing Album Week on the channel. We're on to 1989, the deluxe edition, of course. Now, this is one of the albums I put into Album Week, not onto the poll, that we're just doing on our own because it's sort of my way of giving back to you all for helping so much, being such a huge catalyst on the growth of this channel. I can never thank all the Swifties enough for the love and support they've shown this channel. It's been incredibly overwhelming, and this is the least I can do to, listen to this album with you guys and give you guys my genuine reaction as always. So I watched Miss Americana, and that makes me, I was already super excited to get into this. This album already has the most familiarity to me as far as when I look at a couple of the tracks on here. Also, it's been the most hyped up, I would say, by you all. I just watched Miss Americana literally yesterday, like barely 24 hours ago. So if you want to watch the full reaction, it's over 2 hours. We're also going to be doing the Reputation tour because particularly after the thing about watching Miss Americana is I had just heard Reputation before that, so then I watched Miss Americana, and it's all just, there's so much going on. My respect for Taylor Swift was already, I didn't think it could go any higher, but I think it went from my respect for her as an artist was beyond the ceiling, and now after watching Miss Americana, my respect for her as a human being is maybe beyond that of my respect for her as an artist, which is saying a lot because my respect for her as an artist is, I said over and over again, I think she's the greatest writer I've ever seen or ever heard in my entire life, and she's the greatest artist of the last 10 plus years. She has to be. I don't even think you can really debate that, honestly. So we have a long album here. I say we just dive into it. Like I was saying, the Miss Americana and the Reputation tour we'll be doing on Patreon. If you want to check that out, that would be lovely of you all to join me in those festivities. Now, let's dive right in. The first track is Welcome to New York. Before we even dive in, I will say really quick, since I do have the most familiarity here, I'm already looking. Style was... So before diving into Taylor Swift, I was already a huge fan of a couple songs. One was Everything Has Changed with Ed Sheeran, and then the other one was Style. And then most of her other stuff, I probably wouldn't have known unless I saw it. But those were the two songs that I always had in my phone and that I was always a huge fan of. So Style, huge fan of it. Blank Space, I recognize that. I'm pretty sure that so it's gonna be forever, it's gonna go down in flames, something like that. I'm pretty sure that's exactly how it goes, actually. Shake It Off, there's no one that doesn't know what that song is. And Bad Blood, I'm pretty sure I know what Bad Blood is. But yeah, just a quick run up of what I have heard on here. So that's like 4 songs already, right? Yeah, there's a lot of songs on here though. There's quite a few. So let's just dive in. First track is Welcome to New York, my home. That's different. That's very it's very bright is what it is, especially coming off of Reputation. Particular, I mean, I'm going backwards, but what's so interesting too is having listened to Reputation and then learning that she took that long break. The craziest thing about Miss Americana, there's so many crazy things about it, but I'll say that for her to have maintained her success throughout all the bullshit that she was going through, and even be able to, she had to force herself into that, break because all the nonsense that was going on, basically, and pretty much people forced her into it, really. But to come back firing with Reputation, oh my gosh. Man, because I love Reputation so much, but coming off of Reputation, there were a lot of more darker sounds on that. So to be going from Reputation to 1989, and right off the bat, I have this very bright synth immediately. Is very interesting contrast.
It's been waiting for you. Welcome to
Oh.
Welcome to New York. Welcome to New York. It's been waiting for you. Welcome to New York.
Whoa, why am I picturing? I'm from New York. I spent my whole life in New York, and yet I'm sitting here picturing myself walking down Broadway or Times Square, like with my arms in the air and this song blasting in my headphones or just in the air, period. And just feeling the magnificence that is New York. She perfectly encapsulated the aura, honestly, of New York and the magnificence of it, and kind of when you get there, how you feel like you have all these sort of opportunities and how you're kind of in this magical limelight. She captured that with the lyrics and the sound already so far, so perfectly for someone that spent so much of her life in Nashville, as I learned.
Forevermore, the lights are so bright, but they never blind me.
Oh,
Welcome to New York.
that's interesting too. The lights are so bright, but they never blind me. It's really interesting considering what happened after this album going into the rest of her, well, the next couple of years particularly. So interesting.
It's been waiting for you. Forevermore, the lights are so bright,
I love her using the term forevermore because it's almost like slight foreshadowing.
they never blind me. New York, welcome to New York.
I love that. You know what's so ironic is that she's said quite a bit in this song that has pertained to to a lot of aspects of New York. But lyrically, this is definitely one of her simpler songs. But I love so much that it's so catchy and that it perfectly symbolizes the feeling of New York. But at the same time, I got the lyrics down already. Like I can just sit here and sing along to the song by the second verse. And it's not in a bad way. It's in a great way because the song's actually really catchy.
It's a new soundtrack. I could
And was she saying it's a new soundtrack? So basically saying, because we know she's not from New York originally, so basically saying it's almost like a new start, not even new start, new opportunity really for her for whatever was going on at the time. I'm not familiar. I'm sure once we do like a 1989 tour, once we finish up with the Reputation tour, we'll learn much more about that era personally. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what her connection to New York is at all, if she does have one. I don't know. I know there's been theories with, well, we'll save it for style. We'll save it. We'll go to, everyone knows what I'm talking about. Let's just go to Blank Space. I'm familiar with the song. I know exactly what it sounds like, but I've never ever listened to the words. I've never listened to it by my own choosing. It's always been out wherever I happen to go. And I think this has the most streams on the... Oh, no, Shake It Off. Of course Shake It Off does. Alright, let's go. This is an epic song, though. Yeah.
Nice to meet you where you been. I could show you incredible things. Magic, madness, heaven.
You have power. You have power when someone like me, who has never tuned into you his whole life, aside from the last couple months... I can sit here and say, all I've ever heard is this, like I said, I've never played the song on my own choosing, yet I can sit here and sing the song, basically. That's power. And this song came out 7 years ago. That's power. I'm going to be able to do it with Shake It Off also. Style I already was a fan of, so it doesn't really count. But it's just power, power, power. This woman is the greatest of our generation.
Sin, saw you there, and I thought, oh my gosh, what in my hand? I can make the bad guys good for a weekend. So it's gonna be forever.
What? I can make the bad guys good for a weekend? Oh, shoot. Because, grab my passport. And I think she was mentioning it's a guy she just met. So obviously, typically it'd be a guy that wasn't, the type of guy like a bad guy. But she's saying, if we're just gonna take a trip for a weekend, I'll make you good for a weekend, as if like you'll only have eyes for me on this weekend. Trust me, I love confident Taylor. Let's go. So the thing is, because I've heard this song before, so my reaction to this song isn't really gonna be so much musical. Kind of going to be more interested in kind of the stuff she's saying and how it fits in with the rest of the album.
For a weekend. So it's gonna be forever. Got a long list of ex-lovers. They'll tell you I'm insane. 'Cause
What? Starbucks lovers?
if the high was worth the pain.
The high was worth the pain. Got lovely Starbucks lovers? Give me One second, guys.
No, I love the bad guys.
And that line right there directly references what I was talking about right before the chorus. But that's... I gotta look it up because I don't believe that she's saying that. That doesn't make any sense. And if she is saying that, then I don't really know what to say about that. Did they meet at Starbucks? It's gonna go down in flames. You can tell it's over. Got a long list of ex-lovers. What?
Ex-lovers. Got a long list of ex-lovers.
Oh, well.
I'll tell you that.
Now I hear it crystal clear. Now that I know what she's saying, I hear it absolutely crystal clear. Alright, let's just go on, because I'm going to spend so much time in this song. I couldn't go forward with that line, because it didn't make, like, you met a bad guy at Starbucks and went on vacation with him, and you're going to make him good, but, like, all your former lovers, you also met at Starbucks? That's, I was kind of like, Taylor, what? You're... Let's just keep going, because now it makes perfect sense. Got a long list of ex-lovers.
Cause we young and we're reckless. I got a blank space, baby, and I'll write your name.
Oh, that's so cool. That is so fucking cool. I have a long list of ex-lovers, but I have a blank space on that long list of ex-lovers, and I'll write your name on that because you're gonna be an ex-lover, basically. Like, this is gonna go down in flames. Eventually, I'll make you good for it. It'll just be a fun weekend or whatever, because you're otherwise a bad guy. Oh man, that's a cool concept.
Cause darling, I'm a nightmare dressed like a daydream.
Oh, what? I'm a nightmare dressed like a daydream. This woman, this is like so poppy, but she still finds these really super creative, crafty lines to slip into songs like that keep with the consistent theme of her just being this masterclass writer.
Cause darling, I'm a nightmare dressed like a daydream.
So
it's gonna be forever.
And it was so cool on Miss Americana watching her through her writing process and how she uses the voice notes or the voice memos to kind of work her way through that and then go line by line, almost writing the song within the moment as she's figuring it all out musically. And it's just so special to see.
Oh, it's gonna go down in flames.
Oh, let's go.
I didn't say I didn't warn ya. So it's gonna be forever. I'll write your name.
It's so, she's so different. And even though she's saying it'll leave you breathless or the nasty scar, she's still implying that it's going to end either way. I think what she's implying is that it'll leave you breathless as if it'll be the greatest short experience where we can both take the best from it. And like when we move on, we can still look back at that like, yeah, that was, for whatever that weekend or that short amount of time we were together, it was fantastic. And all of that. Or it'll leave you with a nasty scar where we'll just hurt each other for a short amount of time and it won't be great. Or we'll just have cared for each other so much and it was so passionate, but it ended so bad that it'll leave you with a nasty scar. Either way, it's going in the same direction. We're gonna either hurt each other or love each other, but it will end. And that is... So I never, imagined blank space. I never imagined it as on a piece of paper, on a list, as a name going on that blank space. But, of course, Taylor would imagine it because she's Taylor Swift. Now, style. Okay. This song. I love this song. I know this song word for word pretty much. Probably more so as I begin listening to it. I know the theories as far as it being about Mr. Styles. I spoke a lot about this I spoke a bit about it in Miss Americana, so I won't delve into it too much, but I want to respect the past relationship stuff. So I'm not going to go insane with the deep diving as far as pointing it out, but I'll draw the conclusions where I may. But we'll go through it as we go through it. This fucking song, the way this song opens with that guitar right there is so... I don't even know if to this point I'm going to have a song that tops this in her whole discography because it's just so... I don't know because some of those songs on like Seven and shit. Okay. Dude, this song.
Midnight, you come and pick me up, no headlights.
Okay, so the thing is, we know the song "Perfect," where it's you like the midnight drives in the car. I know the lyrics. It's hard to imagine. It's hard to picture the melody of "Perfect" right now while I'm listening to this song. But they're talking about midnight drives in the car. So like the correlation between these songs in particular, and also I had no idea when this came out, but it's also now it's extra interesting that this came out in 2014, and Made in the AM came out in 2015. And so Perfect would have came out a year after this, so Harry would have had this song already as an example for inspiration. I'm doing what I said I wouldn't do.
Long drive,
Oh, it's so good.
and in burning flames or paradise. I should just tell you to leave, cause I know exactly where it leads, but I watch us go round and round each time.
Oh, this song is so good, guys, and I've heard this song before, but I actually haven't listened to it in a while. It's been a few months at least since I've heard it at all. Like, I used to listen to it a lot more back in the day, so I'm getting that nostalgia. The thing is, it hits you different. This is the feeling. It hits you a lot different because now I've become a huge Taylor Swift fan. So now I have a different entire feeling when I listen to the song because I have a whole new appreciation for her as an artist. And it's just hitting me different right now. This song is just special. And also, the song actually has a similar theme or message as Blank Space a little bit, but there's a little bit more hopefulness in it.
You got that daydream look in your eye, and you can't keep these wild eyes on the road.
Oh, so good because she's talking about the midnight drives at the beginning, and now in the second verse, it's a comparison to driving, but it's not them driving. It's him symbolically driving. He can't keep his wild eyes on the road. He can't keep his eyes on our situation because his eyes are elsewhere. It's just so she's so fucking great.
Takes me home. He says what you heard is true, but I can't stop thinking about you, and I said I've been there too a few times.
Oh, it's so come on. And then she changes the whole pre-chorus. She doesn't use the same pre-chorus. She changes it, and I actually forgot all about that. I was expecting the same pre-chorus. But no, she used a completely different pre-chorus. And not only did she pre-chorus his point of view, but she empathized with his point of view. So she's not even mad at him, actually. She's not... You would take it in the first part of the song like she was kind of tearing him apart when she hits that second verse, when she was like, can't keep his wild eyes on the road. Immediately it's like, oh, she's taking shots. But now she's saying, I've been there too a few times. Like, I've done that same stuff. So it's a reflective song of like accountability as well. This woman is... I'm going to spend so much time complimenting her, and I cannot help it because she absolutely deserves every bit of it.
You got that daydream look in your eye, and I got that red lip classic. Take me out of style.
Okay. This was an entire different experience as a newfound Swiftie. This song hits so much different in a car, and all I can think about is blasting this in a car. Because you just picture yourself on the road, because there's so many references to being on the road and in a car, and then at the end she's like screaming, just take me home. And I never even... Is that a reference to the second album for the boys? I don't even... What's also kind of crazy about this too is that I don't even think about... Like, yeah, I can make the correlations, but when I'm listening to the song, I'm not really consciously thinking of Harry. I'm more so just engulfed in how incredible this song is. There's a lot of songs on Evermore and Folklore, Lover, Reputation that have become all-time faves of mine. I mean, I had 4 songs from Taylor in my top 20 songs of last year, but I don't know if style is ever going to be top for me. This song is just different for me. It just hits me in a very different way. Okay. All right, let's move on to Out of the Woods, because I spent a world record amount of time on the first 3 songs for this channel. This has a little bit more of Reputation's sound on it. Also, the Out of the Woods title of this song makes me think of her era from last year for some reason. It was almost like a little bit of a foreshadowing as far as the direction she was going to go. I mean, years and years and years later.
We were in screaming color.
Oh, screaming color. Oh, okay. So is she saying that because he's sitting there with her or laying there with her taking the Polaroid, I'm assuming that they had a lot of problems before that, but now that they're kind of having this loving moment, because that's like a moment as a couple that you kind of imagine where you're, you know, taking these Polaroid pictures and it's just a very cute, intimate moment. So you would think, are you out of the woods? Are we past all the troubles that we've had now that we've just had this moment? That's kind of what I'm gathering from this so far. And it's actually really touching.
Baby, like we stood a chance. 2 paper airplanes flying.
Oh! We moved the furniture so we could dance like we stood a chance, because again, you're trying to have this, I guess you're trying to save the relationship basically, but she's saying like 2 paper airplanes flying. We didn't really stand a chance because paper airplanes only fly temporarily. You can never get them to fly more than a couple seconds really at the most. Oh shit, Taylor. Oh my gosh, there's even on these more pop albums, it's still just a level beyond your average pop, because it's got me thinking. It's got me really deep thinking. And the sound of the song makes me just picture her running the whole time. Like running. I'm literally just picturing her running through the woods. I can't help myself because of the name of the song. But I'm picturing her running through the woods, but like the woods symbolize all the troubles in their relationship. And she's running and running through those troubles that are the woods. And she's trying to get out of, like, all she sees are trees, and she can't stop seeing trees, and she's trying to stop seeing trees, and those trees are the problems in their relationship. She's trying to just get through all of them by having these cute Polaroid picture moments and moments of dancing, but they're just temporary little solutions in the moment, and they always get back to her being in the woods. God damn it, Taylor. Remember we were driving, you hit the brakes, you got 20 stitches. When we woke up, I was still there. When you woke up, I was still there. The monsters turned out to be trees. I have to hear that again, because there was so much in there. Oh, and I'm picturing her actually as the one with the stitches, because he's the one that hit the brakes, so she's the one that ended up getting hurt because of it. The monsters turned out to be just trees, which is the exact imagery I was pretty much painting in my head, because that's how she painted it for me. So when you see me clicking over here, it's me making sure I remind myself to favorite these songs and go back to them when I'm done with this reaction, because I love this song. I love this song. Okay, let's just go to the next song, because since we're making a 4-hour reaction video, all you had to do was stay. Which again, just the title of that fits in thematically with this entire album. So there's a very specific theme of this album, even though Blank Space had a bit more of a darker theme to it as far as what it was about and the temporariness of everything, as opposed to a little bit more hopefulness and style. And Out of the Woods, there was definitely a lot of hopefulness, even though the end result seemed to be the same. But all you have to do is stay kind of fits in that hopefulness, like we had a chance. But then again, let me listen to the song first.
People like you always want back the love they gave away, and people like me, hey, all you had to do was stay.
First of all you have to do, you drove us off the road, and then she said in Out of the Woods, hit the brakes too soon. She ended up with her in 20 Stitches. In Style, she's talking about those midnight drives, and then also in the second verse she said, can't keep your wild eyes off on the road. Taylor is this album is oh fuck.
In the palm of your hand, then why'd you have to go and lock me out when I let you in? Here you are now, calling me up, but I don't know what to say. Let me remind you, this was what you once said.
Let me remind you. Oh, this was what you wanted. You were all. First of all, that melody is gorgeous. What a change.
Let me remind you, this was too late.
You know what this reminds me a lot of? It's a little bit more pop than so, but it reminds me actually of a lot of the songs on Heartbreak Weather, Niall's last album, where you had this really upbeat song. This is really upbeat, and actually what this makes me want to do is dance. I'm having a hard time sitting in this chair for all these songs, really, but especially this song. This song makes me want to move the most out of all the songs, but it makes me feel good. But then as I'm listening to it, it's actually really sad, like really sad, and that's how 95% of Heartbreak Weather made me feel like I wanted to move and like really upbeat, and the songs actually put me in a good mood. But then I start to listen to the lyrics and I start to get really sad and conflicted. And that's exactly how this song makes me feel. It would have fit very well. You know what? Oh my god, a Niall Taylor collaboration actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Can you guys imagine if you're a fan of Niall Horan, if you're aware of his music or his music making abilities, that collaboration would be everything. Okay, let me just not get too excited by that dream. Wow, we have this album is too good so far. It doesn't make sense how good this is. All right, Shake It Off is next. I've heard Shake It Off for sure, but we'll listen to the lyrics this time around. This is like an all-time like pop culture, just legendary song where, you know, people were doing the whole shake. I don't remember. I never saw a music video for this, but I know it was like in little videos people were just like shaking it off, I guess, right?
I say I'm too late. Got nothing in my brain.
Now that I'm listening to it, I don't know the words at all. I only know the shake it off part. I just know exactly how the song, like how the melody goes.
But I can't make them stay. At least that's what people say. That's what people say.
Some blank space references. She's doing a lot of calling out, like a lot of how the media because like I said, we saw the Miss America documentary. She's doing a lot of how the media paints her out to be. And this completely false narrative, by the way. It's complete bullshit. But she's doing a lot of direct references to that in this album. All over the album. Particularly Blank Space and here on Shake It Off. That's what people say. I go on too many dates. That's what people say. Blah, blah, blah. Miss Americana, she got asked this ridiculous... There was so many ridiculous moments that they had in there. Like clips of her being interviewed and asked questions. And she was at like an awards, like on a red carpet somewhere. And the interviewer said the dumbest fucking thing you'll ever hear in your life, where was it you're gonna go home with two guys tonight or something. She said something like that. It was so bad that like I removed it from my brain because it was just such a dumb, offensive thing to say. And Taylor is immediately like, Actually, I'm going home with no one tonight. Like, what is wrong with people? Okay, anyways. Like, what is that your assumption of her? Because she gives off the complete, like, that's not what she gives off to me anyway. I mean, in either way, even if that was what she gives off, mind your fucking business. Who cares? You live your life, and then she lives her life. Holy shit. Okay.
Keep cruising, can't stop, won't stop moving. It's like I got this music. The players gonna play, and the haters gonna hate, baby. I'm just gonna shake it
Oh!
off, shake it
This song has a whole new meaning after watching that documentary.
Heartbreakers gonna break. Is it on my own?
I never miss a beat. I'm lighting on my feet. I'm always one step ahead of you.
Make the moves up as I go. Shake.
There's a dance for this, right? I want to know the dance so bad, and I want to do it. If I will make like a full TikTok to the dance of this, and I don't do like I have a TikTok, but I don't use it. That's how inspired I am by Taylor Swift and this music right now.
Shake it off. Heartbreakers gonna break. Shake it off. I shake it off. I shake it off. I shake it off. I shake it.
I feel like they used this song on The Office. Did they use this? I feel like that's where I saw a dance to this. I saw it somewhere. I should know. I've seen every Office episode 15,000 times.
Hey. Just think, while you've been getting down and out about the liars and the dirty cheats of the world, you could have been getting down to this sick beat.
Exactly! You're wasting all your time with all this nonsensical misinformation when you could have just been listening to this music I've been putting all my heart and soul into. Where's the focus? Where is the focus?
Ex-man brought his new girlfriend. She's like, the fella over there with the hella good hair. Won't you come on over, baby? We can shake.
And I'm still gonna do whatever the fuck I want. If I see a guy over there, then I'm gonna dance to them. I don't care how you report this.
Yeah. 'Cause the players gonna play.
Oh, no. Hold on.
Yeah, with the hella good hair. Won't you come on over, baby? We can shake. Yeah. 'Cause the players gonna play.
My energy is so high right now. I almost need to come down with something. Like, I wish you would. Almost has to bring me back down to earth a bit, because oh my gosh, I don't know if I've ever experienced 5 songs like this. I just want to like burst through the wall like the Kool-Aid man of excitement of how happy I am listening to this right now. Okay, Wish You Would, track 7.
Wish you were right here, right now. It's all good. I wish you would.
Ooh, that's a nice chorus, number 1. Number 2, I like how she's playing the other side of it when you go back to like, all you had to do was stay. This is like the complete other end of it.
It's 2 a.m. I miss you too much to be back.
This chorus.
Wish you were right here, right now. It's all good. I wish you would.
Okay, that is another banger. I was a bigger fan of the chorus at first, and then when the last verse came in, I got way more into that verse than I was the first time around. But then again, the first verse was so short; it was barely a verse. So that song really hooked me in with the last 2 minutes, I should say. All right, let's go to Bad Blood. This is the song that I am also aware of as far as its existence goes. Doesn't this have a rapper on it? I don't see a feature on it. I could be misremembering. I could have sworn it had a rapper on it, who I can't remember, but it doesn't say a feature on it. So maybe there's a remix out there.
You have to hit me where I'm weak, baby. I couldn't breathe and rub it.
Oh, she scared me when she said, "Did you have to hit me?" and then just pause like that. I was like, no, not domestic, please, no. Oh, I was about to be so scared for Taylor. I know she already dealt with the sexual assault thing. My heart literally just jumped. I'm like frozen mentally because was very fearful for her for a second. But I remember the chorus. I don't remember these verses at all. These verses actually hit really hard.
In so deep, salt in the wind like you're good.
my favorite part right there. Oh, just that line right there. It's so sad to think about the good times. First of all, I love the way she sings that line because she sounds heartbroken as she sings it. She sounds so longing for those memories. Like, the delivery of that line is perfect. And again, in Miss Americana, I noticed in her recording process her emphasis on how she has certain lines delivered to have the message of the song, like she was recording, like when she was recording that song of Brandon Urie. Now, what the hell was I going to say? I'm so distracted by how good this song is. The rapper, I could have sworn there was a rapper on this song, and I don't remember. It's like killing me. It's driving me really crazy because this song was really popular back then. I don't know. I'm wrong, clearly.
Baby, now we got bad blood. Band-aids don't fix bullet holes. You live with ghosts.
Band-aids don't fix bullet holes. I mean, that's very self-explanatory. If you live like that, you live with ghosts. Because they're always going to follow you, basically. Ooh. No, I'm not going to sit here and make a Two Ghosts Harry Styles reference right now. I'm not going to do it.
Blood runs, 'cause baby, now we got
Hold on, Taylor! Go ahead! No! No! Oh, fuck! Taylor's serving on this album vocally as well. My gosh, the grit and that delivery right there. Okay, I'm actually really excited. I can't believe how great this album is so far. The hype was real. The hype was very real. I have not been let down not one single time. It's actually somehow exceeded the hype, which doesn't ever happen in life. Ever. I think the only other time in life something was hyped to this much was when I went to In-N-Out, and I found that somewhat disappointing. But this is the very opposite. Similar hype, but exceeded. Wildest Dreams is the next song. Ooh. Oh no. Oh no.
He said, let's get out of this town, drive out of the city, away from the crowds.
Again with the reference. Let's drive out of this city. Basically, if they were in New York in particular, that's what it makes me think of. I mean, it doesn't even have to be New York, really, but the fact that she said city made me think of that. But drive. And another driving reference. That's like 5 songs already.
Thought heaven's gonna take me down. He's so tall and handsome as hell. He's so bad. Say you'll remember me. Standing in a nice dress, staring at the sunset, babe. Red lips and rosy cheeks. Say you'll see me again, even if it's just in.
How is a song this good on an album that already had 8 songs? This incredible. How? What? How was I so sure that Style was going to be my favorite Taylor Swift song ever? And how was that challenged so quickly? Oh my God, there's certain times where you hear a minute of a song and it hits you unlike any other song has ever hit you. Wow. Shit, I'm having some heart palpitations. I need to go back to before the chorus came in, because...
But this is gonna take me down. Begins my one condition.
I can see the end as it begins, which again fits right in with the rest of the album as well.
My
All
one
over.
condition is, say you'll remember me. Standing in a nice dress, staring at the sunset, babe. Red lips and rosy cheeks. Say you'll see me again.
Oh, hold on. That staring at the sun line is a callback to Out of the Woods as well.
Lips and rosy cheeks. And his voice is a familiar sound. Nothing lasts forever. Staring at the sunset, babe. Red lips and rosy cheeks. Say you'll see me again, even if it's just. Say you remember me. Standing in a nice dress, staring at the sunset, babe. Red lips and rosy cheeks. Say you'll remember me.
not gonna add anything to that. Because that's one of the best songs I ever heard in my life. So, you just can't add anything to a song like that. Let's go to How to Get the Girl, if I can somehow recover from that. God.
Stand there like a ghost, shaking from the rain.
Actually, I need like 5 seconds, actually, after that song. I can't just jump into another song. Literally just give me like 1 minute, guys. Alright, after the Attack on My Life by Taylor, we are back with How You Get the Girl.
And that's how it works. And I'll put it back together. I would with her. Oh, and that's how it works. Yeah. With pictures in frames of kisses on cheeks.
Okay, so that line especially. So the song feels a little bit... I like the sound of it more than I like the content of it, because it's a little it's a little like high school romance, which is cool. It's not that I don't like it, it's just a little high school romance, that would be fine, except that particularly, there's so much adult relationship stuff going on throughout this entire album that content doesn't feel like it fits. But musically it sounds great. So, but especially when she said right there, she just put the cherry on top with my feeling of that by saying, with, you know, the reminder of kisses on the cheek, photos of kisses on the cheek or whatever. Well, I'm gonna keep listening now.
Tell her how you must have lost your mind.
I think that, well, the sound of it also kind of adds to that feeling, even though I do like the sound, ironically. This is better. I like that too.
Say you want me.
It's gonna come back though.
And then you say I want you better. And that's how it works. How you get the girl.
I mean, give me the vocals. Let's go.
That's how you got the girl.
I like when it's just the guitar. So I'm not going to... I don't want to be misunderstood here, because I do like this song. I absolutely like this song. It just feels very out of place. It doesn't feel like it should be on this album, because the album's been so consistent so far, and it just feels like it sticks out. It's not just even the words, it's just the way it sounds. It just doesn't feel like it fits in. Yeah, it just feels very high school romance, which is great, just on a different album. So if I ever listened to that song, it wouldn't be within the context of this. I'd probably just listen to it separately, because I do like the song. It sounds like a great song that would actually play really well in the car. But with that being said, let's go to This Love.
And I could go on and on and I will. Skies grew darker, currents swept you out again.
Some Evermore vibes on here, like not just the album, but the actual title track Evermore. A little bit of those vibes, and I'm here for that.
And you were just gone and gone.
Especially the delivery of her vocals there.
Silence ring. Oh.
Yeah, oh my gosh, just boot How to Get the Girl off of this album and put This Love right in its place. This is how you follow up Wildest Dreams. This is the perfect come to down moment in the album, where I'm just really sitting here and now I'm completely putting the entire album in perspective with this song. This is where I need to be in the album right now. Dude, these vocals are so reminiscent of the more recent stuff.
Burning, flickered in my mind, only you. This love is good, this love is bright, this love is alive. Your
that you run, but you always come back to what you need, and then the way she sings that need, because you emphasize that particular emotion.
This love is good, this love is bad.
Oh man, imagine making an album this good. Okay, just no one really can imagine except her, I suppose, because gosh. Okay, the next track is I Know Places. Oh, I like that. Ooh, that melody is so fun, but it sounds great, and it's also so fun at the same time. Talking about paparazzi, yeah, absolutely. Where her and her partner are the foxes, and they're the hunters, and they're out looking for them. But she knows places. I think she said they've got the boxes as if they're gonna find them and try and box them in, because then they can't really have their personal space. That's what this sounds like. I like that. That's referencing her exact inability to really have like a normal relationship within her spotlight. But she's still saying that she'll make it work. She will find a place to go where we can be on our own. We can make it through all this craziness somehow, some way. Like, I know a way. Oh, God! Her ability also to sit at the very top of her head voice like that, that's the top of her full voice range, and then go straight into that sort of mid falsetto that she does too is so impressive. Don't ever forget that she's still a vocalist at the end of the day, along with those lyrics. She always finds the perfect way to mesh everything, and especially at the end of these songs, and every time she has her bridge and goes into that last chorus, she always serves us. It's more paparazzi reference or a media reference, or all of that. It's references to all. They take their shots. That's a double meaning. They take their shots, like she's saying, like they take their shots with guns because they try and penetrate like what we have, but we're bulletproof. It's not going to hit us. But she's also saying they take their shots like with the camera. They take their shots. In the dead of night, your eyes so green. Oh boy. Wait, what was that noise at the end there? Hold on. Cause all the drama. All the drama. Interesting. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. Alright. Next track. I feel like I know who that song might be about. But it doesn't matter. It was a great song. Next song is Clean. None of these songs are shots at anyone, by the way, either. I'm not getting that vibe at all. She's been incredibly accountable on this album. And spoken on both sides of it. So I have a lot of respect for that as well, because it's easy to do that, and some people might deserve it based on decisions they've made, but then you have to live with that song that you made, and and like I said, if that person deserved all the words you gave them in that song, then absolutely put it out there. But a lot of the times it might just be caught up in a moment where I'm not speaking about Taylor, I'm speaking about other artists that have done this, where you're not being accountable for yourself as well. You can write a song about how you felt about how someone might have wronged you, but you made plenty of mistakes yourself, but you're not referencing those at all in these songs, and she doesn't do that at all in these songs. So yeah, it just makes me have that much more respect for her. And if she gets to the point where she doesn't do that, I haven't really caught that. Well, I caught some of that Reputation, but I know the background. And knowing the background, it's beyond justifiable.
When the flowers that we'd grown to
It's not even what she's saying every time. It's how she's delivering it combined with what she's saying. And she says the flowers that we grew died of thirst. Like, she delivers that died of thirst, like, so kind of tragically and so retrospectively. Like, yeah, that's what happened. Shit.
The perfect storm, rain came when the butterflies turned to dust that covered. So I punched a hole in the roof.
Why?
Let the flood carry away all my pictures of you.
Oh, because it was raining. She punched the hole in the roof, and it's all symbolic, right? It's all metaphoric. She's not actually doing these things, and the rain isn't actually cleansing her of, you know, all of the things that happened in this relationship that weren't good. It's all symbolic. So she punched a hole in the roof is her forcing the issue. She found her own way to cleanse herself of all of everything that this person left on her and make sure she didn't carry it with her, and now she's finally clean. I like that a lot. I punched the hole in the roof because, like, it's raining outside. It just makes me literally picture it, but then picture the actual, what that actually symbolizes and the strength that would also take.
Water filled my lungs. I screamed so loud, but no one heard a thing.
This is a silent battle. She did it all on her own. This album probably won 1 billion Grammys, right? I'm sure it did. Well deserved.
Rain kept 10 months sober, I must admit. 10 months older, I won't give in. Now that I'm clean, I'm never gonna risk it.
Oh, I like the play on the words, because she's using the term sober, but she's not really talking about alcohol. But when you're clean, you're sober. When you're clean from alcohol, you're sober. So clean and sober are pretty much the same words when it comes to that. But she's pretty much correlating the feeling of being sober to the relationship, because she's 10 months beyond the situation and now she's clean / sober. Taylor every time.
Drought was the very worst.
I am a nerd. If you're watching this for way too long by now, this video, and if you've seen anything else, you know that I am a fucking lyrics nerd, and I can't help it. I absolutely cannot help myself. There's nothing I can do about it. It's why my reaction videos are typically so long, because I just have to listen to everything, music and lyrics included. And Taylor Swift particularly just makes me completely nerd out all the time. Every single time I just completely am nerding out over her ability to create this imagery and these metaphors, and then use different synonyms, and then change her syllables to match it within the melodies of her songs, and then enunciate and pronounce certain words a certain way to get her specific point across. And she does it every single time. She does different layers of things, and even when there's the very rare song where it's not as lyrically as deep, she still finds her way to get it in there somewhere. And it's just I admire her in every sense of that word. No misses. We're just rolling through, man. Like, again, just track 10, just boot it out of here, and you have the most perfect album ever made. All right, track 14, Wonderland.
They tell us don't rush into things, and you flash your green eyes at me, haven't you?
This is like Blank Space Part 2 almost. It's like once she was in it without realizing. Except in Blank Space she knew it was coming. With this, this actually reminds me of a lot of the songs in this album where she went into the temporary situation. But in this moment she didn't really know it was temporary. She's in it and it was so wonderful, but it only lasted so long. But like at least they managed to find it.
Treasure cat smile.
Oh,
didn't it all seem new?
little Alice in Wonderland reference there.
I felt your arms twisting around
Wonderland.
Fun and games till somebody loses their mind.
I got lost in it.
And you get lost in the actual Alice in Wonderland. Wonderland. You get lost in there, and if you find it, it's magical. But there's some dark shit going on there with the cards, those crazy cards that tried to kill people and stuff. I haven't seen that movie in so long, but it's a classic. Now I'm thinking of the entire movie. Now she made that Cheshire Cat reference. It all makes sense. It all ties into that exact concept, and even like the sound of the song makes me think kind of that entire place in that movie.
Pretended it could last forever. And in the end, in Wonderland, we both went mad.
They both went mad!
But I don't want to go among mad people.
Oh, you can't help that. Most everyone's mad here.
Another absolute smash on this album. It's going perfectly so far. We're not missing anywhere. Kind of a concept song, actually. More of a concept song than any of the other songs. But at the same time, she managed to take kind of a concept, make it a concept song, and have it fit seamlessly into the entire theme of the whole album. And that is something that you almost never see. But Taylor Swift is someone I've never seen before, so... Alright, the next song is You Are in Love. Much older sounding synths.
You can see it with the lights out. Lights out. You are in love. His shirt.
Does she make bad songs? Honestly, does she have songs that you guys don't like or just have heard and are like, oh, that's not good? Has that ever happened? Because I haven't had that happen with her yet.
He keeps his word, and for once you
And even if I don't like a song, I'll be respectful about it, but I'll say it's just not for me. I haven't felt that way about any song I've ever heard from her.
let go of your
Well, there was the Closure, but that was a very specific artistic choice, so I don't count that at all. But otherwise, no misses. Doesn't make sense.
fears and your ghosts. One step, not much.
Ghosts.
Is said enough.
A lot of ghost references, a lot of ship references, well, a couple ship references, but a lot of car references.
You kiss.
Theme. We have a theme.
You fight. You knew what it was. He is in love.
Oh, wow, the scene. She's just like telling us a story and painting the scene.
Silence and why I've spent my whole life trying to put it into words. 'Cause you can hear it in the silence.
Wait, what?
You can feel it on the walls. And why I've spent my whole life trying to put it into words. 'Cause you can hear it in the silence.
Wow.
You can feel it on the way home. You can see it with the lights out. You're in love, true love.
I love that because she's referencing all the things that make you realize what love is and what the feeling of love is, aside from just the words. Like there's that song by Extreme and Frankie J did the remake of it. It's the version I'm much more familiar with. Frankie J's version is More Than Words, where it's saying I love you is much more than words. It's not the words I want to hear from you. It's I love you is more than words, and she's describing exactly what that is throughout this song. It's except it's not so much saying I love you, it's the feeling that is love. It's all that. You hear it in the silence, you feel it on the drive home, you hear it with the lights off. It's you feel it with the lights off. You just feel it in those moments. You guys should see the amount, like if you looked at my Spotify screen and you just saw, you would see nothing but hearts. It's almost concerning. Okay, last track of the album, sadly, but it has been a long journey, but it's one that hasn't felt that long because each song has just felt like such a specific individual experience. But here we are. The song is called New Romantics. Let's hear. This is deluxe, so this wasn't meant to be how she originally closed it out. I think Clean was how she closed it out. New Romantics. Let's see how she closes this out.
All bored, we're all so tired of everything we wait for.
Oh.
Trains that just aren't coming.
Either I've heard this, or the melody is a straight up sample from something else. Because this is incredibly familiar. But this is really strong. This is the thing about deluxe albums. This isn't like a throwaway deluxe track. This is 100% like a regular album closer almost, because it fits in thematically with the rest of the album and the message of it. But also just, it could have been a single. So just imagine a single on a deluxe version. I don't know if I've heard this. It's so hard to sit still on most of these songs. I just want to get up and move around my entire house, just going crazy to most of these songs. There's a couple more, softer ones, but for the most part, these are ones that just really want to get you just moving to everything.
Come along with me. Please take my hand and please take me dancing.
Another thing too, her and Niall do that thing also. I'm sure Niall actually took a bunch of inspiration from Taylor, because Niall does this so much in his music, where when he gets to that bridge, he strips all the music back, and or he really limits the music, the volume of it to a very minimal extent, and you just get most of his voice. And Taylor does that all the time in her songs. So they make really similar. I've never noticed. Well, Taylor's albums are all very different. Everything's been a completely different experience so far for me, anyway. The 4 albums that I've heard, and this is the 5th now, have all been very different. Evermore and Folklore were a little similar, obviously, but different in their own ways. But this album is very similar to the music that Nala makes, just to touch on that really quickly. But just that, those bridge things reminds me of, they remind me of each other.
And please leave me stranded.
Okay, God damn it, what an experience, everybody. The hype was real. As far as this last song, this feels like it was a single, because I feel like I recognize it. And if it wasn't a single, it sounds like it could have been a single, which is odd because it's on a deluxe edition and it's at the end. So I'd imagine it's one of the deluxe tracks. Also, I'm wondering how I would have ever heard a deluxe track from an artist that I never really listened to. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I know you guys will, help me out in the comments with it. And yeah, so I guess 1989 has to be my favorite album, right? You know what? No, it has to be. It just has to be. This album is incredible. It's incredible. And let me let it sit with me, because I do go back to both Evermore and Folklore quite often, and I actually think Lover is turned out kind of underrated in the grand scheme, based on a lot of how you guys kind of talk about the albums as wholes, because there's a lot of stuff on Lover I like. Reputation is still very new with me, so there's still a lot that I'm still dissecting from that album. Reputation actually feels a lot different for me now after watching Miss Americana. So what I'm learning is Taylor Swift has eras. More than any other artist I've really ever come across, she has eras, and every album really represents an era, and they're all so different, and they all mean so much to that particular era, which is why it makes me so thankful I got the background. This album, I thought Style was going to be my favorite Taylor Swift song ever, and I didn't expect anything to top that, especially after going into it and listening to it as a newfound official Swiftie. But then I got to Wildest Dreams, and yeah, that was an experience to say the least. Shake It Off has a whole new meaning for me after learning about her past and just everything. And all of these songs, just all of them. I mean, I could go one by one over and over and over again through every single song about what I loved about each song. There's so much for each one, but I won't, because this is going to be actually my longest reaction video yet. So let's talk in the comments, because this might be my favorite comment section to date for an album reaction, because I really want to talk to you guys about this one, about how you felt about this one when it came out, and particularly how you stack this one against all the other albums. I'm actually incredibly curious to hear how you all stack this one against the folklore, Evermore kind of era of music, because it's the sound on those albums are so different. So I wonder how her going into that new sound made you feel, considering that I feel like she really mastered that new sound. And to me, there's something very timeless about the two albums she came out with last year that makes me want to prefer those, because I can see myself turning those on in like 20-30 years. This is the jam right here. This album's 20 years old, but listen to this folklore album right here. But then again, I don't know guys, I can go on and on, so I'll just stop right here while I'm ahead. Love you all so much. Thank you for supporting this channel forever and ever and ever. I love you all, and I will see you on the next video.